Hi, everybody. Welcome. Oh, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Niners Radio Live here at the Satellite Digital Media Studios here in San Francisco. Here on a Monday. Hope all of you Niner faithful joining the bye week. Niners are coming back off the bye this week. In fact, they're practicing right now down in Santa Clara. They're getting ready to prepare this week for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who also were off this Sunday as well. We are going to, here on Niners Radio 49, Niners will be taking on as we here on Niners Radio, just a lot of you checking in on the network, and we are going to just give you like a mid-season report, what's going on. 49ers a week after losing a tough game to the Cincinnati Bengals, and Niners now turning the page of the first half, and then moving now to the second half of the start the second half of this season. This is where we say that the mosaic of the art, that mosaic, this is where the fun begins for the San Francisco 49ers in the second half. And this segment is going to be presented by the original Gold Bar Whiskey. Check out our good friends of Gold Bar Whiskey at goldbarwhiskey.com. And we're going to be doing a roadshow podcast later, sometime down with the next few weeks as we get into the start of the holiday season. As as we get to the holiday season, we'll be doing some remote up remotes, live remotes, as we get towards the holiday season. So check out my good friend Sam Thumb, and he's in goldbarwhiskey.com. They're based out at Treasure Island. And we're gonna be doing some shows, podcasts out there to promote Niners Radio 49 in the coming weeks ahead. And for all of you, check us out at for Niners Radio 49 is at youtube.com/at Niners Radio 49. YouTube.com/at Niners Radio 49. Please, always importantly, hit the subscribe button so we can get more people to join our podcast. And also check us out on youtube.com/Niners Radio 49. We're also on Niners Radio 49 is on our YouTube page as well. So and also we're at the midway point of this season. We're going to just give us a recap of the first half of the season, take a look at some of the numbers, and we also have some other major announcements, what's going to be coming on Niners Radio 49, part of the Satellite Digital Media News Network as well for the second half, as we also checking us out on Niners Radio 49. Oh, by the way, happy birthday to Hall of Fame great and Niner former 49ers owner Eddie DeBartolo Jr. has a birthday today. He turned 77. And Eddie DeBartolo, former owner, he's a former owner that he's bought the 49ers franchise back in 1977, and he guided that franchise to four Super Bowls in the 80s, five in franchise history. And we wish him a very happy 77th birthday today. Happy birthday, Mr. Eddie D. I'll tell you a little more about Eddie DeBartolo's story when we have a chance. But we're going to get to the main part of it. We also, by the way, we also by the way, we share. We also You can catch us on Facebook.com/ at Niners Radio 40 or Facebook.com/ Niners Radio 49 and then also checking us out on our main page, the Professor B Media Satellite Digital Media. We welcome City Ball, our good friends from City Ball, join us online, checking us out, and all of the people who are watching online. They so we going to get to the nitty and gritty on this podcast on this Monday. Hope you all of you joined your Niner fans watching. We are gonna enjoy your bye week, and the Niners getting well. Hope they get the Debo Samuel and Trent Williams both should be ready to go for this next coming Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars, an improvement team for the Jaguars who after that dreadful season a couple of years ago are right back, finished first in the AFC South, and they're led by former Philadelphia Eagles head coach, Super Bowl winning coach Doug Peterson, coaching down there in Jacksonville. And we will have Niners Radio 49 back. And that's going to be a 10 a.m. kickoff for next Sunday, 10 a.m. local time. You can catch the action on Fox Sports, KTVU, Fox 2 in the Bay Area. That is going to be the 10 a.m. kickoff slate. And then also, then we'll be back out at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara in 2 weeks' time when the Niners take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Empire Row. Niner Faithful Boulevard will be back out there as well. And we're going to be getting to a lot we'll try to break down, and a lot of games as we get to we already got through the appetizers and the side course of the 49ers menu schedule. Now we get to the main course, and the Niners are still in this stretch where they're playing on the road away from Santa Clara in 5 of the next 7 games. This is their third leg of this trip, 3 of the last 4, 5 out of the next 7, and 6 out of 9 within the last couple months of 2023. And they'll play the Jacksonville Jaguars next Sunday, 10 a.m. kickoff. That will be on Fox Sports, and on locally will be on KTVU Channel 2 in the Bay Area. Greg Papa and Tim Ryan with the play-by-play in action in Jacksonville at Everbank Stadium, formerly known as Alltel Stadium or Municipal Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida. So let's get to some of the as we're at the midway point. We are yep. So we're looking into some of our stats on midseason stats. Okay, so we're just trying to pull some stuff up on Niners Radio or trying to get a screen captured. So we're just how we're handling this. So we're looking at some of the numbers for the first half. I'm just trying to pull this thing up, get a capture screen on here. We are trying to drag a. You're looking at some of the numbers. So I'm just trying to. This is the first time I've never done this before. So I'm trying to pull these numbers up to show you some of the numbers. Here we go. So here's the here's a little bit of the screen capture. Let's try and work on this screen capture here. So here is the screen capture of we got so far up this point in this first half. Brock Purdy, he right now is doing for 2,033 yards, 12 touchdown passes. He has a touchdown percentage of 5.4 touchdown. He's thrown 5 interceptions. He has a 105.4 quarterback rating. And then you look at the rushing department. As we're just looking at this. Okay, we're just gonna just read the stats just to make it more easier. We'll work on that. We'll probably be more on that at another time. So uh, it's gonna take some time before So looking at look at some of these numbers. Christian McCaffrey, he has 652 yards on 137 carries. He's averaging 4.7 yards, and and then it's Jordan Mason, he's 117 yards rushing on 21 games or 8 games, 5.5 yards. And then the receiving leader is Debo Samuel in 7 games. He has 620 yards in receptions. He's averaging 17.7 yards per carry. So he right now needs at least he's now 460 yards away from getting that 1,000 mark. And if he can average at least about 20 yards per reception during the second half, within at least get 20 yards per game within the next 3 or 4, maybe 5 games. And if he could get about, average at least 100 yards or more, about at least a buck 50, he could probably get close to those 1,000 yards sometime before they play Seattle. Or, then you have George Kittle. Then rounding it up is McCaffrey. And then Debo Samuel, and then Juan Jennings as well. And then on the kick returns, Ray McLeod, he is 113 yards in kickoff returns, 22.6 yards per. And then on punt returns, 152 yards. So Ray McLeod, he in both combined kickoff and punt returns. And I'm just doing the math right here. Ray has 152 on punt returns plus 113. That's 265 yards. And he had, you divide that by 20, he's averaging 13.22 yards on both special teams play. So he's getting these returns and try to set the team up for some great field position. And then we look at the other stats. Jake Moody, he he has here we go. Jake Moody has 62 points. That ties him, I think, for seventh in the NFC. And then on defense, you have Eric Armstead with 2.5 sacks. Nick Bosa only had the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year with 3 sacks. Um, and then, also with them getting they're in that for the 49ers making that big move by getting Chase Young or Chase Moody from Washington at the deadline. And they gave up some third round draft pick. So that's where the 49ers are at right now in that sack department. So also for the 49ers, they just taking a look of oh man. Wait for this thing to load down. So yeah, for Chase Young Media Day, and we're gonna try to catch a little of Chase Young, his first practices with the 49ers. So we're gonna listen to that right now. I want to let's get a little soundbite from that. This little time just loading up on the video. So a lot of you watching us on Niners Radio 49, check us out at youtube.com/ at Niners Radio 49. Please hit the subscribe button if you to see all Niners content and so much more. Also, welcome all you 49 fans watching us on satellite digital media, City Ball, watching us live. And this little 49ers mid-season report. So we're gonna so we're gonna right now we're gonna we'll let you listen to a little bit of Chase Young talking with the media down in Santa Clara. Little of that right. All right, that was the new Chase Young, who was acquired last Tuesday on Halloween, acquired from the Washington Commanders, and talking about was like the reuniting with Nick Bosa. He's gonna be both ends of the interior, and was his thoughts this time when they were him and Bosa were both teammates at Ohio State. So as he's meeting the Bay Area meeting for the media for the first time, and we're gonna also just take a look of now with the schedule coming up for the second half of this 2023 season as the Niners get back to work this week, prepare to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars this Sunday or next Sunday at Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville. Kickoff time will be at 10 a.m. local time. It's a early game here in the Bay Area. They will they'll play that first game that will be on Fox. So we will just take a look of some of the 49ers news or some of the news regarding for the 49ers. That this segment is presented by Cisco, powered by Cisco on the report on the update as the 49ers get ready to get back to work as they're concluding their bye week and check in what's going on. The Niners are at the midway through the team's bye week. The rest of the NFC West will suit up for respective Week 9 matchups, and the 49ers. So just the Niners are, by the way, back in first place in the NFC West. They're now back into a virtual tie as so the 49ers are still, with the Seahawks losing to the Ravens, and I watched a little bit of that game. Watched some of that game yesterday on Sunday. The Niners are back in there with a 5-3 record, dead even for first. They're tied for first, but the Niners would have the tiebreaker because of their divisional record. So that now brings us to the schedule for this second half of the season. Niners will next week will be back at take on the Seattle Seahawks or the Jacksonville Jaguars as the 49ers continue this stretch. They continue this stretch where they're going to be playing within the division. They're in within this. Looking at the NFC West, they're 5-3. They're 2-0 in the division. The Seahawks are 1-0, and that's why the Niners are in first place with the tiebreaker advantage. Then other teams that lost, the Rams were losers yesterday. They fell to the Packers in Green Bay. So then now they dropped to 3-6. Arizona Cardinals getting shut out by the Cleveland Browns up in northern Ohio. They fall to 1-8 with the worst record in football. With 1-8, and which and then also taking a look of the rest of the action on Sunday with the Philadelphia Eagles defeating the Dallas Cowboys as they will take on the Jacksonville or correction, the Eagles defeated the Dallas Cowboys. That was the game of the day. Watch a little bit of that game on Fox as they held on to beat the as they held on to beat the Eagles beat them by a score of 20 28 to 23, and the Eagles were winners. And then you look at the NFC playoff picture right now. The over the in the NFC, the Eagles now have a 2-game lead or a 2.5-game lead over Dallas. The Cowboys, I believe, this coming week will have a bye week, and the Eagles are starting to put separation on the Dallas. And then looking at the NFC The Eagles right now with the best record in all of football and on a 3-game winning streak. Then the Detroit Lions, who were off this week or this past week, they're 6-2. The Niners trail the Lions by 1 game for the second spot in the NFC, and they are a half game ahead of the New Orleans Saints. Saints were winners yesterday over the Chicago Bears in the Superdome in New Orleans. And then you look at the wild card picture. Seattle will get the first wild card. Dallas will be the second. The Vikings will be at 5-4, will be the third wild card. They'll be seated number 6. That would be 4, 5, 6. Will be the seventh. And then the Redskins are only 1 game back. Them and the Falcons were winners, or the Falcons lost yesterday to the Vikings. And then the Tampa Bay have lost 4 in a row, which they will be coming to San Francisco, coming down to Santa Clara in 2 weeks' time. They'll play the 49ers on their next home game on November 19th. So looking at it right now as we look at towards the scheduling for the second half, I mean, as we look at that second half schedule for the 49ers, they will looking at that schedule, we are looking at the schedule. So they will start off. They'll play Jacksonville this Sunday. That will conclude their road trip where they were on. Conclude the road trip. They'll play a 10 a.m. start, and then they'll take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the 19th, and that's going to be a short week because they'll play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the 19th, the week of Thanksgiving. That's a 105 game back at Levi Stadium. By the way, in 2 weeks from now, they will have it'll be the salute to the Veterans Day, salute to our heroes. So for all the men and women who fought for us so we can have our freedom, we'll salute to all the Veterans Day. That will be on the 19th at 105. And then so you can get your tickets, purchase your tickets online at Ticketmaster.com, or you could go to the 49ers box office as well to purchase game day tickets as well. Then they'll play on Thanksgiving night. They'll play the Seattle Seahawks up in Seattle. That will be a 5:20 game. That will be on Amazon Prime. Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit with the call in the big out there in the up in Seattle. That'll be a Thanksgiving night game up there, and then after that game, the Niners will have a mini bye week on Thanksgiving weekend. Then they'll play the Philadelphia Eagles, the rematch of the NFC Championship game. Niners trail the Eagles by 2 games for the top spot in the NFC. We'll get into more later this week on Niners Radio 49 about where that's going to be for the home field advantage, because this is where the second half where the big main course is. They'll go to Philadelphia on about a month from now. They'll play. That's a 125 kickoff, and we're gonna hopefully we'll be trying to do a special edition of Niners Radio live on location for that game. We will get to that, and then they'll play Seattle again on the 10th at 105. Because the Niners will have a stretch after they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3 of the next 4 games will be within the division. Then they'll play Arizona on the 17th of 105 kickoff time. That will be in Arizona. And then they'll play Baltimore on Christmas night. First time the Niners will be playing on Christmas night, on Christmas Day or Christmas night against the Baltimore Ravens. That will be a rematch of the Super Bowl 47. That will be a 5:15. That will be on ABC, ESPN. Then on New Year's Eve, they'll play, after the short week, they'll play the Washington Commanders. That's a 10 a.m. kickoff time on the West Coast. And then they'll play the Rams on the first Sunday of 2024. That kickoff time, that will be either on the 6th or the 7th. That will be to be determined. So there's a lot of football left for the 49ers, and this is where you start want to peak at the right time. And I'm optimistic that the Niners can get back on track to get back on track after that 3-game losing skid. And, the Niners, it all starts on Sunday. We'll take on the Jacksonville Jaguars at Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville. And before we get ready to wrap it up, I'm happy also to announce the big announcement I was telling you guys about. We're going to plug it into our Niners radio audio cast for this weekend, this Saturday, on the Bay 6 League Championship as well. For the top seed will be coming up for the Northern California Regional Playoffs. Once again, will be decided the final week. Number 1 state-ranked City College Rams will take on their rival, longtime nemesis, the 5th-ranked Bulldogs of College San Mateo. The Rams will take on College of San Mateo for both teams in regular season finale next Saturday. That will be on this Saturday, November 11th at College Heights Stadium. The kickoff time is at 1 p.m. Both teams come into contest with identical records of 4-0 in Bay 6 games. College San Mateo just ran over San Joaquin Delta College on Saturday, 62-7. They improved to 8-1. City College of San Francisco is 9-0. Is with a 59-6 win over Chabot. The Rams dominated the Gladiators on both sides of the line of scrimmage. San Francisco offense matched its second highest yard total this season, 651 yards, while the defense allowed 78. The Rams led 28-0 at intermission after Dorian Hale tossed for a first of 4 of his 5 touchdowns in the contest. The Max Rodart hauled in a pair of touchdowns for 39 and 37 yards to make it 14-0. Hassan Mashon grabbed a 14-yard touchdown. Tyrell Washington was on the receiving end for a 7-yard TD just before halftime. And then we'll be giving you that game on Saturday. You're looking at some of the stats of the contest. 502 passing yards, 149 rushing yards, and the Rams dominated the time of possession, 37 minutes and 8 seconds. And we're looking at some of the full stats of this contest. Look at some of these stats. Dorian Hale threw for 363 yards, threw 5 touchdown passes in the contest. And then Nahshon Iskander, 9 attempts, 59 yards. He averaged 6.6 yards per carry with 2 touchdowns in the contest. Jeremiah Crum, 4 catches for 109 yards, averaging 27.3 yards, 60 and 1 touchdown. Cam Johnson, 6 catches for 79 yards. He averaged 13.2 yards. And then Max Rodert, 4 balls caught for 73 yards, averaging 18.3 yards and 2 touchdowns. So we're going to give you that broadcast this Saturday. I will be doing play-by-play on satellite digital media audio cast in San Mateo. The winner of that game will win the Bay 6 Conference Championship and will be crowned the number 1 overall seed for the season. And then also CIF action for this week will be the Balboa Buccaneers will be at Galileo. They'll take on the Galileo Lions. Balboa is 4-1, a win over the Balboa Buccaneers have pretty much locked up the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed with a victory over Galileo. With their victory over, they will be the number 2 seed no matter what Washington or Lowell does, because Balboa would own the tiebreaker over both Washington and Lowell. This game will be a 1:30 start at Galileo. And then Burton will take on the Lincoln Mustangs as Lincoln has wrapped up regular season title pretty much. They will be the number 1 seed regardless what happened. They defeat George Washington 50-6 over the weekend. They have now beaten Washington in the Bell game. They have now won 18. They've won 10 straight. They've won 8. They're 18-3 in their last 21 meetings, including the 3 playoff postseason games, the 2 Turkey Bowl games when they defeat George Washington, both in 2007 and in 2008. And then in that playoff game up at Washington in 2009 when Lincoln, who finished fourth, knocked off the top-seeded George Washington Eagles, who were co-league champions with Galileo back in 2009, when Eric Beverly went off in that game against the Washington Eagles up at Eagle Stadium in George Washington. Then that's a 1:30 game. Lowell Cardinals will take on the George Washington Eagles. That will be a 1:30 game. The winner of that Washington Lowell game will clinch the number 3 seed. They will take on the Balboa Buccaneers at Buck Stadium in Balboa coming up next 1 week from this coming Thursday in the CIF section playoff. The loser of that Washington Lowell game will have to go up to Lincoln for their playoff game in 1 week from this coming Thursday. So they will end up and then after, and I believe and look at some of the scores. Galileo defeat Mission 26-21. Lincoln defeated Washington 50-6. Balboa over Lowell 55-14. So, and I believe, Burton was off last week, so Burton had a week had the week off, so they had their bye week, and they had a bye week, so it's a lot of action for this week as the AAA playoffs begin next Thursday. That will be the 9th. That will be on 2 weeks from this Thursday on Thanksgiving Day. Playoffs is next Thursday. That will be on the 16th. The two survivors will advance to the CIF annual Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl Championship 2 weeks from this Thursday on Thanksgiving Day on the 23rd at Kezar Stadium. That will be an 11 a.m. kickoff for the CIF Turkey Bowl Section Championship game at Kezar Stadium, the original home of the San Francisco 49ers from 1946 to 1970. So that's going to do it for now. I'm Brian Professor B. Davis. Wish all you watching on Niners Radio 49. Again, hit us up on youtube.com/@Niners Radio 49. Please hit the subscribe button to catch all of the content as we continue to drive to get more people coming in to watch 49ers talk on Niners Radio 49. And then, of course, the next time we'll be back out at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara for the Niners tailgate show. That will be coming up on the 19th. That's 2 weeks from Sunday. We'll be out there at Empire Row, another edition of 49ers Tailgate, the holiday Thanksgiving edition, and when the Niners take on the Tampa Bay Bucks at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com/49ers. Ticketmaster.com is the official ticket provider of your San Francisco 49ers. And that's going to do it for now. Thank all of you watching 49ers live on Niners Radio 49. Hope all of you Niner faithful enjoy your bye week. And please be safe out there. And for all you watching on satellite digital media as well, and all the people from our friends at Sayball watching this podcast. Thank you for watching, everybody. And we'll talk to you later in the week. Thank you for watching 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49. 49ers Live is an association with, on Niners Radio 49, is an association with the Satellite Digital Media News Network, where every team has a fan, every fan has a voice, the network home of champions. You guys have a great, great day. 49ers football, faithful to the Bay. Go Niners.